Let's check out this amplifier that I found on the street. I knew it was an amplifier because of the heatsink and also because this little circuit, this is the integrated circuit for the amplifier. TDA 7377 is 2 by 30 watts in dual mode, or it can be 6 watts for 4 channels. It could be 2.1, like you put that bridge on the other 2 channels and you can have it left, right, and a subwoofer, like in this case. This is the TL074CN, is a quad operational amplifier. This is used as a preamplifier. You will see some videos on YouTube that they pull out the data sheet of some TDA and they just assemble as the data sheet says, and they connect as a cell phone and it is working. Most of the time this is a lie because you need a preamplifier for that. So this is the preamplifier for this circuit. This is going to connect to the TDA 7377. And we have also this dual operation amplifier, probably is a filter for the subwoofer. If we go down here, here's a fuse. Those 2 wires are for the transformers. This is a bridge rectifier, a filter capacitor. We have the ground on the green one and the positive on the red one. Those white and yellow are for the front speaker. As you can see, there's some capacitor as a filter. I look it in the board and it says x-220 sub. That means that it is part of the component. So I look at in the internet and came up with this. This is a speaker that came with this subwoofer. As you can see, the speakers in the 9-pin connector should return volume control, this LED, and also on-off function. And the input came from the speaker. So in the back of the subwoofer, you see the line, AC line, 9-pin connector, and also a potentiometer for the subwoofer only. The front speaker has their own volume. So again, this is the back of the circuit. This is the main input for the AC line, the bridge rectifier, the capacitor. So we're going to keep searching. This is the TDA 7377. There you will see the speaker for the subwoofer, the output. And this part, this is the output for the from the speakers. There you see those 2 capacitors and bobbins. Those are like a filter, so part of the frequency goes to the subwoofer and the filtered part, the higher frequency goes to the front speaker through those cables, the white and the yellow, and it goes to the speakers through this 9-pin connector. And also this is the ground. It sends ground to the front speakers too. So if we see, this is the back of the subwoofer. So we need to figure out what came in and what will come out from the 9-pin connector. If we analyze the board, this is the power supply on the back, on the front. This is the TDA amplifier. This is the dual operational amplifier or preamplifier. This is how you locate it on the back of the panel. This is the filter for the subwoofer. This is the location on the back. This is the transistor used as a switch for the standby mode. This is in the top and this is in the back. Now, if we have the amplifier here and we look at the data sheet of this amplifier, we can identify which pin does anything, every function. And it has a pin for, the number 7 is for the standby. I think it's being controlled with this transistor. The input must come from this quad operational amplifier, and those cables are the output for the foreign speakers, and it goes directly with 2 wires to the front of the front speaker through the 9-pin connector. We are going to call this right output, and this is the left output. I'm not sure how it goes, but if you follow these 2 pins, it goes directly into the, well, not directly, there are some capacitors and resistance, but it goes to the operational amplifier, and then you have this directly 12 volts that goes also to the 9-pin connector. I think this is the power on. I'm not sure, I'm guessing here. Let's take a closer look. So you have the 9-pin connector. We have identified this as a ground. because as you can see the trace, it goes to the ground cable. This has to be the audio input, since we follow those traces and it goes to the operational amplifier, the quad one. And this came directly for the outputs of the TDA 7377, so this must be the output. So we still left these 3 pins that we don't know what are they for. We need to check them with the multimeter and see what is inside those, or what signals they are carrying. So when we tested with the DBM, we find out that this pin is also ground. This other pin has 5 volts, probably before the LED. So we have a third one that connects directly to the base of the transistor. So my guess is that they are using the transistor as a switch. So if we connect the 5 volts to this pin, it should enable the transistor. Let's see how a transistor works as a switch. You have the NPN transistors like this one. You have the collector. You put some DC power in here and nothing is going to happen. But if you put another signal, it could be the same, it could be a different one, to the base, then the transistor is going to conduct the electricity to the emitter. That's how it works as a switch. Sometimes we use MOSFET on or components, but it is the same principle. So if we look at the datasheet of the TDA, we see that this is the standby circuit, and it requires a 10K resistor and 10 microfarads capacitor, so to pin 7. So let's find out on pin 7 where is this 10 capacitor, 10 microfarads and 10K, and here are there. So if we put the 5 volts in here, we are going to enable the amplifier to get it out of the standby and mute. We can also add a switch, like if we want to override the transistor, you just put a switch in here, connect the 5 volts, and then connect it to this circuit or this point of the circuit, and you are going to enable the amplifier. So in general terms, we have the AC. We need a transformer, a step-down transformer, to convert from 220 to 12 volts. We need I have a small one, we need a bigger one, but 12 volts are 12 volts right now, so we don't just want to see it work. This is the bridge rectifier. This is the filter capacitor. So we have everything that we have in here is called the power supply. Here you have your positive DC. This is your negative DC marked by the filter and also by the bridge rectifier. So at any time you can remove all that and just connect that 12-volt battery. So if you see it from the top, you see the fuse, you see the AC input with those 2 yellow wires. This is the step-down transformer that I'm going to connect. Here, this is the bridge rectifier. Sometimes it comes as a single circuit, and in this case, there are 4 diodes to make it. This is the filter capacitor. Again, this is the side positive one, and the black mark is for the negative one. So you just connect the DC here. This red one is the positive, the green one is the negative. I don't know why they went to that color. And all of this is the power supply. We're going to explain later how to remove it and use it with the battery. In the meanwhile, we have here the circuit. As you can see, this is one speaker. We need another speaker. This is the power supply. This is the AC outlet. It's going to connect to this step-down transformer through the yellow wires to the board. This is the board with the heatsink installed. You can see the TDA down in the bottom. I connected these RCA jacks for the audio input, and this push connector for the speakers. Remember, they are left, right, and a center speaker or subwoofer. Well, it is a subwoofer, not a center speaker. So let's connect the speaker. Here we have the second one. Again, I don't know which one is left or right, but it's very easy to know, but I'm not worried about that. I just wanted to see it work. And this is the subwoofer. This is a 2-ohm subwoofer Bose one, but I don't think it's going to work very well with this because it's too much power, too low impedance. But again, I just want to see it work. And this is the input. That you can see is a wire to RCA's connected to an iPhone. Let's look for some royalty-free music to play here, so we don't have copyright striking here. I'm gonna play this one. So let's connect it. Remember, I put the standby cable directly to 5 volts, so as soon as you connect it to a power wall, it should turn on. So we have everything ready, everything is connected, so power, input, output. Let's just look for the music and hit play. And there you have it, it is working. This is the volume for the subwoofer. It's not going to be very appreciated through the speakers because of the microphone of this camera. A little bit more. Okay, there you have your subwoofer. You have these two speakers. I see this trick on YouTube to see, so you can see the speakers bouncing. I'm gonna put a little bit of salt on it so you can see how the speaker is working. It sounds very good, even that the speakers doesn't have their boxes for the resonance, but it sounds pretty good, and the power is good for this. Let me pop up the volume a little bit more, and there you see the salt dancing on the speakers. Again, the subwoofer is not going to be very nice because we need more power, more amperage of we have the volts but not the amperes. So if you want to put it on the car, you just have to get rid of the power supply. The board is like 5 inches across, is square. So it is a very small piece of circuitry, and you can remove this part. This is the power supply. You don't need it in the car. You can eliminate the bridge rectifier, the fuse, and the capacitor, and just connect a 12-volt battery. Like, for example, if you remove everything I told you, this is the back of the board. You just put a 12-volt battery or any 12-volt supply from the car and connect it to these pins, and there you have it working. At the beginning of the video, I showed you as a joke that what's inside a SoundTouch 20, but I really wanted to make a video about that, but didn't have the time. But I want to show you the incredible subwoofer this little unit has. This is the front of the unit disassembled. Look how small the speaker is, but it has a wonderful sound. And this is the subwoofer. It has just one subwoofer. It's like 4 inches, and it is also like 4 inches deep. Very powerful subwoofer for such a small unit. And look at the speakers, it's like 1 inch on diameter. Thank you very much for watching my videos, and please subscribe. Thank you.